Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you're listening from, depending on when you're listening to this. My name is Kamel Rule. This is the Golden Rule. Thank you very much for tuning into episode 5. I hope you like the first episodes. I hope you like this episode. This is where it gets really relatable, I think. Not saying the first few weren't relatable. This is where it gets even more relatable. Why? Episode 5 is called Romantic Relationships. Raise your hand if you've never been in a romantic relationship. That's exactly what I'm saying. I feel like insight will come from this. These will be really relatable experiences. You may have your own that you'd like to share with me, and I'm all for that. This will be like a 3-part series, really. Episode 5 is called Romantic Relationships. Is Love Enough? Episode 6, guess what it's called? It's called Sex. Strictly that. So we're not going to talk about sex this episode. Please calm down. It'll be okay. No worries. We have time for that. And then episode 7 is called Infidelity / Honesty. It's going to get really deep. No pun intended. And it's going to be exciting. And maybe you may figure out some things. I don't know. Hopefully you do. That would be tight. Before we go forward, we want to shout out our sponsors, which is myself, my free will, my choices, like we said always. This Starbucks coffee. I get Pike Place from Starbucks when I do get coffee from Starbucks, because everything else has so much sugar in it. Hey, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think it's the healthiest thing for you. Do whatever you want. I don't have any water. It's a great morning currently as I'm recording this. I'm getting a haircut today, and I want to let you know that haircut days are great days. Every day is a great day, but a haircut day, it's like a great day times 10. I can't even tell you how it feels. You just have to like feel the energy around me. All right. So let's get into what we are discussing. The definition of romantic. Conducive to or characterized by the expression of love. Okay. So we talked about love being a word a few episodes ago. Romance, romantic, also words, and there are actions attached to them. Some people may think that romance is, love letters, flowers, Gucci bags, jewelry, trips, things like that. Some people may think those things aren't so romantic to them. Maybe it's just opening the car door for me, carrying the groceries, standing toward the street. When we're walking on the street. So I'm protected. You know how a man's supposed to protect a woman just naturally. Say a car just comes flying off the street. You're the first one that's supposed to die. That's basically, what the action says. Hey, accept it. It's okay. She's going to love you more if you feel that way. And you know that could be the outcome of why you're standing closer to the street. It could be you setting your coat jacket down, over a puddle. And as I think about that, I would probably just pick you up, to lift you above the puddle, because I wouldn't want my clothes to get wet and you're just gonna step on them. Like let's both save ourselves in this situation. Like I could just pick you up, and then maybe we could smooch while I just picked you up, and you don't get wet. You avoided the puddle. Whatever. See, we're problem solving in real time. Some people don't like romance. I know some women. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I don't know. I don't usually talk to men about these things, but maybe I should. Like, maybe it'll be a good conversation. Because I know some women that don't like PDA. I know some women that don't like overly romantic gestures. It makes them feel pressured. I've heard this many times. Public engagements. The asking for your hand in marriage. I've heard many women say that shit is hella pressuring, because it's like you're asking in public. Everybody's looking like, oh my God, he's asking her. Oh my God. And girls feel bad. They don't want to say no, even though deep down they really feel, hell no, I don't want to get married right now or to you. Hell no, I don't want to do this. But as honesty is key, especially for you to not feel trapped going forward in your life. I've heard this story of a few women being like, man, I felt pressured as fuck and I didn't know what to say, but I had to say yes, just to carry on in the moment. So with that said, it's good to discuss these things. Even if you don't have to discuss them, it's good to just learn your partner or learn the person that you want to be your partner so you can carry on accordingly and do the things that they like, or, break apart ties, because connected to the golden rule, treat somebody how you want to be treated or treat people how they treat you. I'm going to be extremely romantic, not romantic in the pressuring sense, I don't believe, but romantic in the sense of flowers, letters, opening the door, surprises, PDA, everything, all of that. If I feel for a woman, I feel for her, and I'm going to display those feelings until she doesn't want me to anymore. And then I might try again, just depending on the situation, if it could be a test. You never know. But yeah, sometimes you may do things that aren't wanted. And like I said, you have to vacate the premises, because you are trying to treat somebody how you want to be treated. And even thinking about this in real time, with the golden rule and romance, I don't even think it's so much of treating somebody how you want to be treated, because in romantic relationships in life, factually, men and women are different. So when I go into these things, I'm not even treating the woman how I want to be treated. I'm not buying her flowers because I want her to buy me flowers. I'm not writing her a love letter because I want her to write me one. I'm doing this just because this is how I feel. This is how I express my love towards you. So treat somebody how you want to treat them is also another thing. Yeah, we can add that as a small asterisk on the right side. So my experience from a youngin' to now with relationships, I was going to joke and say they've all been failures, but they haven't all been failures, because I've learned something from each and every one of them. Remember, it was either the first or second episode, I told you I had a girlfriend in like first grade. It was cool. We just held hands in the line. I had a girlfriend in like 8th grade. I had just actually seen her when I was getting my dad's lottery tickets. Shout out to her. She was cool. It didn't work out. This was in 8th grade. I had big aspirations for it, but yeah, it just didn't work out. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't work out because we were 8th graders. Well, I was in 7th grade. She was in 8th grade. So on and so forth. I had a girlfriend in 9th grade. These are small relationships that at the time you think the world of them, because you're like, oh my God, I like this girl. But, you're 14 what do you really know about the world besides going to school, lunch, I want to have fun, whatever else is on TV and what you're listening to at the time? 9/11 happened at that time. So yeah, that shows you how old I am. 9/11 happened when I was in ninth grade. I woke up one day, saw the TV, saw towers on fire. I was like, holy shit, I am dreaming. I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. My parents were watching TV, and I was like, what's going down? This looks crazy. And they were like, something's happening with the towers. Planes flew into them. And I was like, damn. We went to school for the rest of the day in school. We didn't do nothing, like no schooling. We just watched TV all day, just to see the updates. That takes you back to my past to show you how old I am. And to show you that at that time I was 14 and, relationships were very, I don't want to say lustful. It was just natural for me to be like, hey, girl, and girl to be like, hey, boy, because we're young at that time, right? We don't know anything about marriage, bills, going on trips, going on heck of dates. The dates at that time were just meeting at the movie theater. That was the only way we could get away from our parents. What else were we going to do? We were going to go to the mall. We were going to go to the movies. We were going to go somewhere where we could hang out. It was cool. Let's fast forward. Getting out of high school, I had long-term relationships. When I speak of long-term, I mean like pretty serious feelings lasted more than a year or two. I would title that as long-term. When really thinking about it now, a year is a very short amount of time. That's a plug that I didn't even think of, to pick up the book 12 Months by Kamel Rule, because a year is a very short amount of time. So yes, a year is a very short amount of time. A lot can happen in a year. A lot of actions, a lot of feelings. I was always one to have steady girlfriends, because I didn't know of anything else. Like I said in a previous episode, my experience with love with my parents was seeing my dad come home and just be with one woman every day. Basically, that's what I saw. So basically, that's what I thought, to do. I was like, oh, without even explaining that to you or explaining that to myself like I'm explaining it to you right now. That's just me, like, acting off of what I see, which is crazy, right? Because this is me being accountable for my actions, and telling you that I've done bad things in those relationships, like lie and cheat. Why? Because I was growing up and I was trying to understand things, but I wasn't being so honest with the person that I was with. So, I was juggling life experiences and trying to understand what I was doing, what I wasn't supposed to do, with also being with somebody, not knowing or not wanting to be extremely, totally honest with them at a young age. I apologize for that. I've apologized for that before, but I apologize for it now again. So as we move forward, was in a long-term relationship for a pretty long time, got out of it. Then once I started working, this is like a turning point in my relationship career where I really realized a lot of things. So after getting out of this long-term relationship, it ended. We knew each other for a long time, so on and so forth. I had started working. I was moving on to different things in my life. And this is when, before COVID started, this is when online dating, I think, was going into a boom. So I had gotten out of this relationship that I had been in for a long time. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to download Tinder and I'm going to download Hinge. Nah, I'm not just going to download one. I'm going to download two. It was cool. Why? You know how they say when you're trying to get over somebody, get under somebody else. Or for a guy, it would be when you're trying to get over somebody, get on top of somebody, whatever. These phrases, whatever. I was just trying to meet new women and move my mind on, right? So I met women. It was cool. And this was a very light bulb moment for me. This made me realize what I was doing, what I should keep doing, and what I should stop doing. So here's the situation. I met this woman. She was cool. Shout out to her. I met her on Hinge. Hinge is more serious than Tinder. Tinder is like swipe, swipe. Ooh, I like how you look. Oh, okay, you're in my area. Swipe, swipe. Super fast. Very fast motion. Hinge is like, oh, you're supposed to like indulge in what people like because they have prompts, and you're like, oh, okay, this person likes this, this, and this. This person wrote a whole paragraph about this, this, and this. Okay, cool. It's more serious. It's made for serious relationships. Not saying that, I was there looking for one. That's foreshadowing to what I'm about to tell you. I was just there. That's me, realizing what I was doing. So I met this woman. She was super cool. We met, we talked, we met again. We talked more, we met again, because that's what dating is. You go on dates with people, and then you're like, do I ever want to see this person again? Yes. And hopefully on the other side, the other person is like, do I ever want to see this person again? Yes. And, you go forward seeing each other again. So we did that. Things started to escalate. Things started to get physical. We started to spend more time together. Maybe sometimes we slept together overnight. We went places together. We did all of the things that romantic relationships would entail without even discussing to each other, hey, is this a romantic relationship? Hey, are we exclusive with each other? Hey, things like this, those things. But going forward, I want to give you this information? No, I'll give you this information as I break this down. All right, cool. So yeah, like I told you that, and I know you have questions like, whoa, were you seeing other people, so on and so forth? That I was about to answer that question out loud, but in my head. But anywho, so we go forward, right? We're doing all this stuff. We spend lots of time together. So one day, we're in the kitchen, doing what people in relationships do, doing what men and women do. You know what they do? Deep romantic music. They cook together in the kitchen. We had clothes on at the time being, and we were cooking together in the kitchen, dancing around, doing all this fun stuff that couples do. But I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, Mel, you guys never even discussed being a couple. And that's a crazy thing about meeting people in online dating and going forward. Because there are expectations, there is open discussion, but there also is a big lack of providing information unless it's asked for. That's what I've noticed. That's what I've discovered from my side as well. Before I knew what I was doing, I was like, why am I doing that? You know what I'm saying? So we're in the kitchen, right? And she's like, so K-Mel, what are we? And me being the ultra literal person I am, I wanted to be like, well, I'm me and you're you. And we are us right now in the kitchen dancing around cooking. What do you mean? But I knew exactly what she meant. I knew that, she was trying to discuss our exclusivity, us being together, us going forward as a solidified romantic couple. And I didn't get scared at that point, because here's the thing. Remember, I was stuck in a thought before. This whole time, that, we started elevating into doing more things and seeing each other more and spending the night together and going to places, like going on hikes, going on small trips that are like, 4 or 5 hours away, so on and so forth. She was the only person I was talking to. Like, I still had the apps, but I wasn't talking to any other women romantically, sexually. I wasn't seeing any other women at all. Like, unless it was in groups and they were just like girlfriends of the groups, like girls I would see out, girls I knew. I wasn't thinking about like, trying to lock myself down. This was just naturally the girl I was investing all my time into, right? So when she said that, I was like, I thought about it. And I told her that. I was like, well, you're the only girl I'm talking to. You're the only girl I'm seeing. I feel like we're in a relationship already without even saying it. These should be things we discuss, but, it wasn't something thought to be discussed until that time, until that light bulb appeared above my head. And she was like, well, I'm in this. I'm in it, to go forward. I want to be in this. And I was like, well, I, thought my actions showed that I wanted to be in this too. But now I understand that, we have to title this and we have to make plans. Words and actions have to go together, right? So I was like, well, yeah. And as you can see, I'm like, well, yeah, because like I said, I wasn't feeling pressured. But the whole title coming above us changed things. I don't know if it should have. I don't know if it shouldn't have. That was just me acting autonomously in the moments, right? I was acting without any plan going forward. No plan with her. You know how when people say like, let's just go with the flow. That was us both going with the flow without even saying it. So then, sad story, after that happened, things started to dwindle. I don't want to say things started to dwindle because we introduced a title and further expectations into our relationship. If that was the reason, if it wasn't, things started to dwindle. I realized that as I was doing all of these romantic, long-term actions, that's not really what I wanted. That's not where I was trying to go so quickly. And after I sat and reflected with myself and thought about it, I had told her that. I was like, hey, yo, I really think we should just take a step backward and remain friends, before we go, super deep into this. How long had we been talking? Like 3-4 months. Some people may think that's a long time. Some people may not. It is what it is. But I was like, hey, I think we should take a step back and be friends before we, just really get locked in and go forward with this. I'm not saying I don't want to be with you. I'm not saying you're not a great person. I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed all this time. Just for me, I think I would be moving too fast with where I'm at in my life. And she was like, nah, Kamel, we can't go back and be friends. And I was like, damn. She was like, we've already done these things. Like, it could have been emotions. It could have been, I don't know what. But basically, we didn't see eye to eye at that point. And we stopped our situation. Shout out to her. Like I said, she was a great person. We ended on great terms. But that's for me to say that realizing what you want is very important. From a man's standpoint, from a woman's standpoint. I'm single right now because I'm trying to get my life together. I know what you're thinking. Kamel, your life seems together enough to have a girlfriend. And it's like, yes, but no. There are little goals in my life, little big goals, small goals, whatever, medium goals. There are goals in my life that I want to accomplish before I merge my life with somebody else's, because I take those things seriously. I was casually dating on, apps and stuff for a while. And the feelings of doing that were not great to me. Like, it was fun, you have fun. But then afterwards, that really made me, further realize who I am. Because I'm a man with feelings, and me just, meeting people and sleeping with them and never seeing them again, or never being with them again, or maybe sleeping with them again and then not. And, that kind of stuff is not me deep down in my heart. Because if I have sex with a girl, I'm going to want to have sex with her again, and probably again and again. I don't really just meet girls and want to have sex with them once and be like, all right, bye. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. But also, I know that every girl I meet doesn't have to be my girlfriend. We don't have to go into a full-on relationship. Excuse me. Shout out to the coffee. So yeah, with that said, plans with yourself, things I'm doing with myself. I may not need to get to 100% the person I want to be before I indulge in a romantic relationship, but damn sure like 95 to 99. That's my plan. And I've heard from some women that I talk to. Shout out to all my women friends that I talk to. Shout out to all my men friends too. Sorry, I don't want to exclude you guys. But shout out to all my women friends, because, we talk about dating and things like this. And one of the biggest issues I see is giving men boyfriend rights, to do boyfriend activities with you when they're not your boyfriend. They will take advantage of that. I have been one to take advantage of that. Maybe you're okay with that as a woman. Now, if this resonates with you and you're not, think about the access that you're giving men to yourself before, they put a ring on it. And then let's move backwards, because that's really moving fast, before they state their intentions with you. And then let's scale back one more, before they even show their intentions, like through actions rather than stating them. I've done that before. A man can state a lot of intentions and never come through with those. But a man can also act intentionally, show you a bunch of things, and really never say anything. That, I feel like that can be confusing to women. So one of the best things to do is to link those two things up. Like, hey, I intend to do this, and I'm showing you that this is what I'm doing. I'm like building a resume in real time. Building a resume and building trust. But yeah, how I feel, like I said, my goals, I'm trying to get myself together. I had a goal started in 2020. That's when I started my job, career, as you can say. In 5 years, I wanted to own a house. It's 2023, so we're 3 years into that goal. So that goal is still pending. And in 2 more years, I'm trying to own a house. I feel like relationships are so easy. It's one of the easiest things to do. Like when we talk about the golden rule, or how I feel I should treat people, or me being honest with people, so on and so forth. Relationships with friends and such, like I've talked about before, but also romantic relationships. I feel like they are so easy, right? So it's like, hey, we're two people and we meet each other. We decide that we want to keep seeing each other. All right. We decide that we want to keep seeing each other again. Okay, cool. It's so easy to be honest. Hey, are you talking to other people? Oh, yeah. Hey, are you dating other people? What do you mean by dating? Like, oh, am I doing this? Am I doing that? Hey, are you having sex with other people? Hey, where do you see this going? Where do you want this to go? And then if we move forward, hey, it's so easy for me to communicate with you from one, learning what you like and what you don't like. It's so easy for me to ask you. It's so easy for me to text you. You know, I'm not going to let you know what's going on all the time. Like, hey, right now I'm recording a podcast, and then I'm about to walk out of the door. I'm about to make a right. And then I'm about to take a walk. Hey, taking a walk right now. You know what I mean? Like, when women are like, update me. I feel like men may be the same way. Update me. It's so easy to communicate. It's so easy to be honest. It's so easy to share my feelings. That's how I feel. But like I said, I'm working on myself. It'll be so easy how I see things, right? It would be so easy to, really have my life secure the exact way I want it, right? And then when I get to living by myself for like 3 years, 2 years or so, then I'm like, all right, I'm ready to bring somebody in with me, meeting somebody, right? Then say I meet the one, or I thought about it like this. Say I meet the one that I want to be the one, because there has to be some want there with it. Say I meet the one that I want to be the one. And then I'm like, we get together, we understand each other, we have some experience with each other, we think this is moving somewhere. And I'm like, hey, so I want to take things to the next step. Here's a key to my house. I think you should have it. Now, I'm not saying, we should move in straight up. What I'm saying is you have a key to my house, and I trust you so much, and I want to be with you moving forward. Like, I want you to be my wife, or I want you to be the mother of my kids. And let's build that trust to where here's a key to my house. You should just come over whenever you want to. That may sound confusing, but it really makes sense. Like, just come through like whenever you want to. Sometimes I may not be there. Sometimes I may be asleep when you come through. But what I'm saying is this is a step to move forward into building trust with the two of us. Yeah. I think of ideas like that. I think that helps. It's just like, opening yourself up to somebody. Hopefully they don't rob you though, but I would have thought about that before I even went forward in this situation. I didn't just meet this girl yesterday and say, hey, here's a key to my house. That's another thought I had. Your phone. I made a tweet one time that said, if I have a girlfriend or wife, my phone is an extension of my brain. So if she wanted to see it, she could see it. And I hear the argument. It's the principle that my girl or my boyfriend should not want to look at my phone. Yeah, I understand that. We should never want to look. What I'm saying is I'm allowing you to trust me so much. And I trust myself so much. I know what I'm doing. My conscience is clear. That you have access if need be. Now, it would be weird if you're like, hey, Mel, I want to see what's in your phone every day. That would mean you don't trust me anyways. And it's like, why are we doing this? I probably did something to make you feel that way. Because this makes me think back when I was like 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. I used to say, girls are crazy. I'm sure you've heard a lot of guys say, girls are crazy. But then as I thought about it and grew up in life, I learned that girls weren't crazy. The things that I did made them crazy. And you may meet crazy girls now. But what I'm saying is those girls weren't born crazy. Those girls have been through experiences that have made them crazy and untrustworthy. I'm not saying it was in a romantic relationship. I'm not even saying it was another man. But blaming, a person's craziness just on them, that was wrong of me. I think we should do less of that. You hear that plane? I hear that plane. That means we should go on a trip soon. Shout out to vacationing. But yeah, trust. Circling back to that phone thing, you know, you having access to my phone shouldn't be a big deal if we're in a trustworthy relationship. I know people want to know things sometimes. You know, they just want that peace of mind. And if we're in a relationship and we're going to move forward, be exclusive with each other, be together, have kids together, invest in each other going forward, I don't feel like my phone should be off limits to you. Now, I know you're not going to be, like I said, you're not going to be searching through it 24 hours a day, but it's really not that big of a deal to a person being honest with you. And that's all I have to say about romantic relationships right now. Shout out to those. Shout out to you if you're in one. Shout out to you if you're looking for one. Maybe don't look so hard. Let it come to you. Maybe you don't have to figure out things so much with another person. Maybe somebody is clearly showing you what they want to show you in real time, and you should just accept that information. You know how they say, like, if he wanted to, he would. I believe that. I also believe if she wanted to, she would. So let's just, change that phrase. If they wanted to, they would, more than likely, because we are all humans. And equality, you feel me? So with that said, I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you got some insights. If you have any questions, hit me up. I have revamped my episode list, put some things together. So episode 12, which will drop in December, that will be an episode called Questions. And what I will be doing is receiving questions, as many questions as you want to give me. And that whole episode will be about me answering questions that are posed to me, like about things that I've said, about what I think about things, anything like that. If you just want to tell me something, want to give me a shout out, you want me to shout you out, shout out your business, anything like that. They can be anonymous. I can say your name, especially if I know you. I've said so many names of people that I know. Shout out to everybody that I know. It's my homie Jesse's birthday this coming weekend, so shout out to him. But yeah, that will be episode 12. So if you have any questions about anything you heard today, anything in the past, anything in the future, you want to get your questions ready, the whole episode 12 will be about questions, me answering questions. So yes, have a great day. My advice, you don't have to do this. You can do it if you wanna. My advice, which has made me feel great and put me in great places in the relationships that I have with people. Be honest. Communicate. Empathize. People have feelings. Listen to people. If you're a man and you want to get on a woman's good side, listen to her. Women want to be listened to. I know so many women that speak a lot to me because they've gone through experiences where men don't listen to them and make them feel like shit. And that is terrible. Don't make girls feel like shit. If you don't want to spend time with a girl, just don't. It's that easy. Rather than to spend time with her and make her feel like shit because you don't want to spend time with her. You feel me? It's so simple. I think it is. So with that said, I am signing off. I hope you have a great day. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can teach me something too. Shout out to you. I love you. Peace.